You read the title, obviously. I don't know why people say that, man. My awful experience with trying to work for Deliveroo. So basically, I'm skipping everything. To get the story started, back in November 2nd of 2024, I applied to be a rider. I did my things, whatever. Then it like locked me out and said that my thing was in progress, and I thought, oh, like everything else would be done in like a couple of days, maybe a week at max if things really get messed up. So I waited a couple of days, nothing. Waited a week, nothing. Waited 2 weeks, nothing. Waited a month, nothing. Waited 2 months, nothing. Waited 3 months, nothing. Waited 4 months, nothing. It wasn't until, right, about, like 10 months later, nearly a year later. So I applied in November of 2024, and it wasn't until September the 22nd or 23rd. Well, did I say December or September? September the 22nd or 23rd of this year, obviously. Um, did they finally respond and they're like, oh, your thing's passed, now it's time to do the rest. Now, hold on a minute. I don't even know what it was. I can't remember. I think it was my driver's license check for my bike. Well, you know, you don't need a driver's license for your bike. It's like, oh, your driver's license check has passed. Now it's time to move on to the next steps. And now for it's what I think it's October the 9th now. So the past however long I've been, I don't what's the word? Like, I was annoyed that it took them literally, literally nearly a year. Doesn't make a lot of sense to get back to me. With nothing, no updates, no, like, not even a kiss my ass. Like, literally heard absolutely zero, nothing. And, I was like, alright, I said I need a job, I need to make that money somehow. I can't rely on doing whatever it is I'm doing to get money. So I did it. And for the past however long, they're like, "Oh, we need to check. Oh, are you an illegal immigrant? Are you a criminal?" And literally just been stuck in this whole thing. And finally, I've managed to complete it all after ages of waiting, of ages of paperwork and waiting for them to review the paperwork and see if I'm an illegal immigrant and all that. I finally Hold on, I haven't even completed the criminal check yet. Oh, we need your national insurance, we need this, we need that, we need, uh, you know, they're just asking for all this documentation, man. Well, I know, oh, but no, when I went to apply at Greg's, all I needed was my national insurance and not even my birth certificate. That's all they took. When I originally started working at Greg's, all they took was my national insurance. I think I needed a photocopy of something, but I can't remember what it was. And I remember this lady at the Greg's in town, like, because I had to go through there. Like, she said, "Oh, you need this." I went up there thinking I had everything, so I had to go all the way back to the library, print it off, and give it to her. Then when I gave it to her, oh, and she's like, "Oh no, you need this too." Then I had to go all the way back to the library, go to the photocopier. I'm lucky that I had an extra 50p, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to use the photocopier, and I would have just been delayed even more. Just trying to give me the. It was obvious she was doing it on purpose. It wasn't an accident. It was definitely an intentional thing. Just to waste my time. Anyway, but anyway, other than that, like, I just needed like a couple of paperwork and my national insurance number for Greg's. They're like checking absolutely everything, and I don't get why they do this, considering like literally all their riders are like 90% of their riders are illegal immigrants anyway. So what's the point of doing all this when they just let them? making it more difficult for the common man. People are actually do have like right to work here, citizenship, etc., etc. When like you go and say, hey, please leave at the door. Do not knock. It's like late at night, or someone's sleeping. Please do not knock. And they'll just be fucking boom, 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 boom. I remember it happened not too long ago, and I put it cleanly and politely as well. Please do not knock at the door. I will come down and get it. Just please leave at the door. And this guy is just bang, 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 bang. I was preoccupied with something, so I took like a couple, I took a couple of minutes. Then and he's still banging away on the door. Then I go down and he's like, "Oh, why you take very long?" Like I can't do that, but like he could barely speak a lick of English, trying to argue with. It's obvious that he obviously, because especially as well, like all the paperwork and all this and that, they're trying to get me to send them. Well, I have sent. Well, this was with Uber Eats, but I assume delivering Uber Eats process is the same. I don't see why it wouldn't be. Like all this, it's obvious that this man wasn't a proper citizen of the country. When literally his English skill was zero. He had what my example was like more cleaned up of what he said. I could like it was just complete garbled. Maybe he was just plain stupid. I don't know, but like he could speak like very 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 broken English, and I don't get how someone with that level, because to get into this country, like you need, unless you had like some familiar visa, but even then like you'd still need like to file your own stuff and do your own interviews, even if one of his family members were like citizens and somehow managed to get him here. You'd still need to do interviews, all that. This guy couldn't speak a lick. you know like I said, it's very obvious that they're hiring illegal immigrants, and most of them are, because most of them just cannot speak a lick of English, cannot understand very simple instructions. Not all of them, but a great deal are. And anyway, I did that, and you know what they said now. I actually saw this about 5 days ago, but I thought it was some glitch because I used their chat. But hey, what's going on? Why does everything keep getting stalled? Oh, we put your application on hold because there's enough riders in your area. I was like, what do you mean? Like literally just a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, you sent me, hey, continue on with your application. We've checked your bike driver's license and you've passed. And what was I saying? Sorry, I had to change something on my TV. It was a bit too low. And after I was like, okay, it must be some sort of glitch, surely, because they wouldn't tell me to continue on with my application and all that, only if my application was on hold. And I thought maybe it's from before. Maybe they just put my application on hold for nearly a year, and but anyway, I do this thing. I send in like I just did the criminal records thing, sent in all the details. I haven't even and when I go and check my Uber Eats thing, what does it say? There are enough riders in your area. Your application's on hold. So this is right. So took them nearly a year, right? Then nearly a year. Then after that, they forced me to do through like send them a whole shit ton of documents, you know, all these documents, and that's after they come back and say, hey, continue. Before that, there wasn't a peep from them. Only to find out, oh, there are enough riders in my area and my application's been stalled. Are you fucking kidding me? They're an absolutely awful company. They're absolutely awful. Literally, I don't want to shadow like Nigel Farage and all that reform. I don't agree with them, but they've literally every rider in the area, like they're giving preference to illegal immigrants. You know, like I said, I don't, with all this reform stuff, and I don't agree with that. I'm a liberal, not a liberal Democrat or anything like that, but I'm a liberal, I'm a leftist for the most part. But literally, this is what they've done. They've made me wait a year. Then now they've made me send them all these documents for me to find for. It's not even proof that I'm a legal immigrant because they don't care. I know they obviously don't care when like the majority of the riders are illegal immigrants who just can't speak the language. And I'm not saying illegal immigrants shouldn't get jobs. You know, they need to support themselves, support their families. But what Deliveroo, sorry, not Uber Eats, what Deliveroo's doing is they're just giving preference to illegal immigrants to get, you know, compared to me and presumably other people out there who are actual citizens, born and bred citizens that, you know, can obviously speak the language, that can follow instructions, simple instructions. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Like, this is absolutely ridiculous. You know, it wouldn't be bad if these guys, you know, could speak the language, could actually put effort into what they were doing, but they don't. They just come from Pakistan, wherever else, you know, don't have any sort of citizenship, can not speak the language, got like a family friend or whatever, got a family member to apply on their behalf, and they're like, you know, using their account and details to go and do this. They can't speak the language, they can't follow instructions, they're you know, it's ridiculous. Deliveroo is one of the worst experiences like I've ever had with anything. Definitely not the worst, but top 10, maybe top 5. And maybe in another year, September of 2026, you know, they'll finally get back to me. Oh, you passed your criminal. Oh no, sorry, actually, no, this was a little bit too blurry. Send us it again, and plus you need another document to prove that you live at your house. You know, even though we've already done all this, and even though we already know you live at your house, send us another document that you live at your house. But then I could guarantee you, I bet £50 on that. That's exactly what will happen. 2026, September 2026, they'll finally get back to me and I'll do something like that. And honestly, if they do, then if they do that, then you know, obviously I'm not doing this anymore. You know, they I'm not, you know, if they email me again, I'm not continuing the application, even if I'm already nearly finished. Well, what's the point? They're literally taking the piss. So they can go and give Hussein from Pakistan, who can't even speak a whole phrase, who can't even speak, like, not even a whole phrase, like half a phrase of English without just fucking blacking out and not being able to say anything. Yeah, I do admit I can barely speak English, but I can understand English. I can understand instructions. You know, I know how to do my job. You know, if I was doing my job. Because the thing is about Deliveroo is like, you know, I'm on my own thing and I'm getting exercise and, you know, I can, you know, it seems fun. It seems, you know, something that would really do me a lot of benefit, but like, it's just ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. I do have an interview. They were supposed to tell me today. The guy who's like doing all this interview stuff is a very weird guy. Like, for a while, like he was banned off Indeed for like account file. Like it said on his profile, and all of a sudden he's got unbanned and like in like really like broken English as well. I tell you, Wednesday or Thursday times for interview on the 16th, that on past 6 p.m. Like that's basically what he said. Even though his name was like Lee Thompson or something. This guy could barely speak English as well. And I just don't see myself getting the job. They seem very white trash. Just just to be honest, white trash, white non-trash. Look at Mission Accomplished. Like four white liberal white women who were just The whole process was just discriminatory. That's another video. I probably honestly have a better chance with white trash than like some 30 something year old white liberal ladies that literally didn't care that I have a speech impediment. As well, like, if you check the thing, I was checking their profile. Literally, there's about 7, 8 of them overall, and 7 of them are white, and they've got one token black who's like their diversity officer or something. So, and she was obviously only there just to, because you got to remember as well that the area of Birmingham there in what's near the city centre is got to be about 15% white. When I used to go there, because I remember saying 30, but no, it's lower than that. Because when I used to go there, I used to go there for wrestling school, wrestling training. That area is about 15% white. So you're telling me, right, like, and out of this entire, you can hire who you want, but it was very obvious that they're hiring their own people. They're purposely hiring their own people. Because that would be like, what's that area that's like? Trying to think. What was an example for the Americans? I think the best example still has to be Detroit. Imagine a company in Detroit and like their entire workforce, except for one person who's literally there just to be a token and make them say, oh, like, shove any allegations of racism, even though the person doesn't actually have a role. They're literally there. Gee, I think she was like their media, like diversity and media officer or something like that. It's very obvious as well. The speech impediment, they just literally, they said interview. I was thinking, oh, maybe this is like a college style interview, where like, they're just talking to you, getting to know you. But this wasn't, this was like a job type interview, right? And in this country, there's supposed to be things called reasonable adjustments, especially if you like have disabilities. I wouldn't consider myself as having a disability, but obviously with the speech impediment, like it's unfair to like as job interviews to like gauge in how quick you react, how concisely you react, how intelligent you sound. How am I supposed to do that when I have a speech impediment? Like it was, and I remember, and it's been over a week, and they still haven't responded to any of my I'm pretty sure they've taken down my comments as well, so they definitely know about it and have said nothing in response. So that, like I said, that's a story for another time. But like I said, white liberal, because they're all like very obvious, very liberal looking, like 30-year-old white. When it was the interview, I think one of them was like a middle-aged white woman, but the rest doesn't matter. They're all like, oh, but it was obvious that I wasn't going to get anywhere with that. And if you look at their thing as well, I looked on their TikTok page and look at the courses. Literally everyone there was white except for this one Asian kid who they decided to interview, like to make it seem like they're more diverse than they really are. I saw about eight white kids in one of the videos. Then the next one, it had one Asian kid. It's very obvious. It's just like I said, in that area of Birmingham, it's about 15% white. It's very obvious that they're only hiring their own people. And if they do hire someone else, it's simple for the diversity. Because, you're probably thinking, oh, maybe you just I have more than enough experience and more than enough qualified, as I was applying to like do camera work. I'm a self-taught cameraman. I'm especially experienced with the FS700, but I can use other cameras as well, the FS7, the FS5, etc., etc. The FX30. I can easily learn to adapt. I know all about aperture and ISO and autofocus and manual focus. Zooming in and that, I mean, that is basics, but obviously I know the details and the theory behind it all. It's very obvious as well. If you see their thing with This was from a course from before. But if you look at their thing, like one of them was like this like she was maybe about 250. This 250 fat girl with like a nose ring and like dyed red hair or something. You're telling me that she knows more about camera work and being a camera, I guess, camera woman for her, camera person, camera operator than I do. I just don't believe that. And as well, you see the other ones, and it was like for their course, there was like a bunch of like you know, uh, it doesn't matter race, white girl, black girl. It's very obvious that so you're telling me that they know more about working the camera, working the sound boom mics than I do. It's just very fishy, very fishy. But anyway, like I said, like I said, I was supposed to be talking about that on a different video. I guess I can just touch up about it here. But yeah, Deliveroo just absolutely awful, an absolutely awful experience. But I will be talking about Mission Accomplished, what I was just talking about now, in more depth on another video. Anyway, thanks for watching.